Haliburton. He'll take it. He'll backpedal a three for the win.
That's unbelievable. All right, here's his dad, and his dad is also doing the choke. Okay. Do you think John Haliburton has served his punishment enough?
The fact that your son's balling out warrants a revisitation.
I think that the punishment should have a direct correlation to how well your son is performing. The Tush Push. 10 teams voted with the Eagles.
Do you think like the owners get together and try to convince each other and barter? Like, hey, give me a vote against the Tush Push here, and I'll give you something here.
Ooh,
like,
that's good. UNC already sold out all of their season tickets. The Bill Belichick effect. He's not playing in the game.
You're gonna listen to him cover his mouth like this. You go, oh, he's such a good coach from the stands.
Mike, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm a little sleepy. I have a little bit of sand in my eyes, but other than that, I feel chipper and so excited to talk about sports.
Okay, wow. Well, I think you should do something about your sleep, because that's literally the only thing in the world that matters is your sleep. So I'm worried about you. How many hours did you get last night?
5 hours of sleep.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Okay. Why are you going to sleep so late?
I don't know what's happening. It's hard to fall asleep all of a sudden. You know what it is? It's because I haven't been reading enough before bed.
Yeah.
And so my mind keeps going. So I need to start reading it again.
What are you doing? Are you scrolling before bed?
No.
Yeah, you are. You're completely lying. Everyone watches you.
That's right. But I'm not scrolling Instagram. Okay, I'm scrolling YouTube Shorts, and it's a much healthier, it's a cleaner scroll diet. I'm nearly learning. It's not like I'm scrolling TikTok.
Literally, the exact same thing. Literally the exact same thing. No.
Disagree.
Okay. Well, all right. YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels are the same thing. TikTok is a whole other beast. Okay. So we'll talk about that after the show, after your sleep habits, because we have a lot to talk about today. We'll start off with the NBA playoffs. And Mike, I have a question for you about the NBA playoffs and basketball in general, because these playoffs, the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference finals, have been pretty wild so far. So we're going to talk about that. And then I have a question about Haliburton's dad, John Haliburton, who has been banned from the arenas because of the incident that he had with Giannis, where he came on the floor, and we'll talk about this in a second, okay? And then some football stuff that kind of went down last week. The Tush Push vote with NFL owners, really interesting. Bill Belichick and UNC football, and then I do want to talk about the idea of, can a football league survive in America that's not the NFL? And we'll talk about all of that. But okay, Mike, let's start off with the NBA playoffs. We actually had game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals last night. So the Pacers were up 2-0 in the series with some crazy comebacks. I do want to touch on this one really quick because Tyrese Haliburton has been playing absolutely outside of his mind. And this was from game 1. Okay. And this was to win it in New York at MSG. And this kind of kicked off just this crazy series so far. Let me throw this up. Pacers down by 1, 7 seconds left. Now down by 2.
Indiana with it. Haliburton. He'll take it. He'll backpedal a three for the win.
That's unbelievable. Okay,
that's really cool.
Unbelievable. And then he does the choke. Do you know about the choke?
No, what is that?
That Reggie Miller did. So Reggie Miller, who played for the Pacers, obviously one of the best Pacers of all time.
Yeah.
It was similar. I think it was like mid-90s when the Pacers beat the Knicks at MSG. And you know Spike Lee, the film director, who's always courtside for the Knicks. And he did that to Spike Lee. And it just became like an iconic image. And oh yeah, here we go. I actually have it. Let me throw this up, because I think it is it's just kind of a beautiful throwback tribute to sports. And it's also cool, both these guys playing for the same team. Oh, you know what? I don't have it. I lied.
Okay. Well, that's a really cool celebration. That is a really cool celebration.
It is
in that moment.
What
a power move.
Very cool celebration. So anyway, Pacers win that game. They win the second game at MSG. And then last night back in Indiana, and everyone's expecting the Pacers are going to win at home. And they lose. The Knicks come back. Karl Anthony Towns, who was horrible the entire game, had like 4 points the whole game. All of a sudden in the fourth quarter, scores 20 points, scores the same amount of points as the Pacers team themselves.
So he just needed the pressure. He's a clutch player.
Yeah. You know why? Because his initials are KAT, Cat. Okay. His nickname is Cat, and cats can handle pressure.
And there's my take.
and that's my sports take on that. Okay. But here's what I want to get at, Mike, is we've seen these crazy comebacks in these playoffs so far. Absolutely wild, like 20-point comebacks. Actually, some unprecedented comebacks too. Actually, I do. Let me throw this one more thing up just to give you a little bit of context on this of like how historical some of these have been. So this is the Pacers playoffs record when trailing by 7 to 9 points with 1:30 left in the game. The Indiana Pacers in 2025 alone are 3-0. Every other team the last 25 years is 1-698. Okay.
Wow. That's a crazy stat.
Yeah. And they picked this guy right here for the image.
I'm on TV.
The image of the stat. So the thing I'm getting at is the momentum swings in these playoff games. We're seeing 20-point comebacks in the fourth quarter. We're seeing all of these where like no one is safe. My question to you, Mike, do you think that basketball is the sport where momentum matters the most, where like that can really be a total game changer, especially when you compare it to other sports, specifically probably football? What do you think about momentum in basketball?
Interesting. I think that momentum in basketball is so big because you can get such a big swing with momentum. I think it's harder to turn around momentum in basketball than football because basketball is so fast. Like football, you have a play, like you can have a big play and then you have 30 seconds to recoup. They're going to huddle up. Like you can regroup, but in basketball, like it's so fast that like if you're spiraling as a team, your only shot is to call a timeout. Like, you're very slippery slope in basketball momentum wise. And I think, which makes for some very exciting end of games, but I think it's much harder to turn momentum around in basketball than football just because of the nature of burst play, rest 30 seconds, get a new play call in. Right. Like there's a lot more ample opportunity to reset, recalibrate, come back.
Yeah, because we see it all the time in basketball. Is like, okay, you have to manually reset the game by calling a timeout. And you see coaches do that all the time. Where in basketball, if one team is getting their momentum, then the other coach will call a timeout to try and stop it and break it up. But in football, it's built in. So I think that there's something to that. And also, just like we talked about, like in basketball, so much or half the game of basketball is effort. It's defense.
We talk about this every week. Every week is talking about, listen, if you want to be good at basketball, you just have to try. Try. It's so simple.
You literally just have to try hard. Okay. And it's interesting because the Pacers are a team that are like actually a, no pun intended, very fast pace teams. Do you think that's why they're called the Pacers? Okay. Right. No. Next segment. But they are like, I can't remember the stat, but I think that if they score over 115 points, they win like 95% of their games or something like that. Wow. And if they get held underneath that, then they lose the majority of their games. So essentially they are just like a fast-paced team, kind of a track meet sort of basketball team. And if you're able to stop them from doing that, then they get stifled a little bit. And also last night they shot terribly from three. I think they were like 5 for 20 from the 3-point line. Just not good. But it is just interesting to see all of these comebacks that are happening in the NBA playoffs. So right now they are sitting at Pacers are still up 2-1. And I think the next game is in Indiana. That brings me to my next question, Mike. So we were talking about Tyrese Haliburton, who was, we touched on the show like a while back of how he was voted by the NBA, his NBA peers anonymously as the most overrated player in the NBA. He's been
so funny.
Unbelievable. Like balling out just he's been the most clutch player in the NBA playoffs, in my opinion. But then there was the incident with his dad where his dad came on the court and then he got banned. Do you think now he's had to miss, I think, a whole series, the conference semifinals, and now the first half of the conference finals. And this is his dad having to watch the game from a bar Okay, not allowed to be at the arena. Okay, let's see if we have it. All right, here's his dad, and his dad is also doing the choke. Okay, watching from bar. Do you think the dad, John Haliburton, has served his punishment enough and should be allowed to watch his son play basketball? His son's going on a historic NBA run right now. Do you think that he deserves to be allowed back in the arena, Michael?
Yeah. This is so funny. You know what? I think he deserves to be back. One, just because it's very entertaining and marketing wise, it's great to have it. When his first game back in the arena, there's gonna be cameras all over him. As long as they prep him a little to, okay, you can be in here, you can be this nice cheery dad, but just don't go onto the court. Yeah, I think it's a great market wise. I think it's great and it's good. But the thing is, it's interesting because like if his son wasn't playing that great, I'd say you can keep the punishment going. But the fact that your son's balling out warrants a revisitation of your serving time.
I think that's a good point. I think that the punishment should have a direct correlation to how well your son is performing. Okay, it's like when you go to court. Okay, and you have and the judge asks, "Well, what does your son do for a living? Is he successful?" Then you have a shorter span in your sentence.
And this is what I'm running for politics wise. This is my thing.
Oh, I do think all jokes aside, the guy did tweet immediately like, I apologize for doing that. I was out of line. That will never happen again. He has been punished. Tyrese, his son, like addressed it immediately after the game. They squashed the beef. Let the dad come watch his son in the rest of this series, and especially if they make it to the NBA finals. Get the man back in the arena. He's not going to go on the court again. And if he does, then he's banned for longer. Okay.
If he does, to give him one more chance, and then that's it.
You got 3 tries. Okay. If you come on the court 3 times, we can't have you here anymore. Okay. This is another thing. I'm seeing this a bunch. So right now, the 2 teams that are leading. So we didn't even talk about the Western Conference Finals, but Oklahoma City is leading 2-1 in the Western Conference Finals. I do want to throw this up because this was a hilarious image. OKC was up 2-0, and everyone's like, "Oh, Oklahoma City is going to roll over the Timberwolves." But then Ant Edwards did have a great game the other night. This highlight is hilarious. So this is him just refusing to pass the ball and shooting over 3 other defenders. He had like 3 guys open. Like if you look at the still frame right here, just all these guys open. This guy down here in the key, just so wide open. There's just some Kobe Bryant energy right here. I kind of respect it. He's sort of taking over the game right here. But the Western Conference are 2-1. So both series are 2-1 right now. But the teams that are leading in the conference finals series are the small market teams. And I'm seeing a lot of people say this because like if this extrapolates out in the small market teams, Indiana and OKC win, then it's going to be a small market NBA finals. And people are saying this finals would genuinely be so bad for the sport. And I don't know. I don't think that this is fair. I don't think it's so fair to be discriminating against some of these smaller teams. These teams are exciting. They're young. And yeah, it would be cool to have a team like the New York Knicks in there, maybe ratings wise. In this finals wouldn't probably have great ratings. It wouldn't have the ratings of a Knicks Lakers or a Celtics Lakers.
You think it would have that big of an impact? I feel like it's like the Super Bowl. People are gonna watch it, whoever's in it. Like, you think there's gonna be that big of a drop off of people are gonna go, I don't like the teams in the championship I'm gonna watch. I feel like regardless, it's the NBA finals, people are gonna watch. I don't think it could be that big of a drop off. Like, you can package that story, a small market team story well enough and find a good narrative where it's people are like, oh, you know what, I want to check this out.
Yeah, that's true. But that's something that I think the NFL has done way better than the NBA is like embrace their small market teams. Whereas like in the Super Bowl, I don't think it has as big of an impact because just that product as itself, regardless of who's in the game, like it's just such a huge draw. NBA fans, I think maybe are a little bit more fickle and they want to see, they want their big market teams in there. So I do think that the smaller markets will affect the ratings, but also I think they need good basketball. They need entertaining basketball. And maybe if, game one is not so high ratings because the teams aren't these big market teams, I think it would be a really exciting series. And as the series progresses on, could increase in popularity. I don't know. It's just discriminatory against small cities,
They're sizist.
Sizeism against the cities. Okay. Last thing on the NBA right now. Because SGA just did get named MVP of the league. Now look at this. A player born outside of the United States has now won the NBA MVP for the 7th straight year. You had Giannis in 19 and 20, Jokic back-to-back years, Joel Embiid, Jokic again in 24, and then SGA. Granted, SGA is still from North America. He's Canadian, okay? So outside the US, what do you think? Because we were talking about, does the NBA have a problem with who the face of the league is? And can the face of an American league be an international player? How do you feel about
So
the best?
interesting.
The best player in the league, or the most valuable player in the league, being not American for the last 7 years? I mean, it's one thing if it's a couple in 7. We're pushing it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
This is actually, I think it's actually great. Like, at first glance, you're like, this is bad. It's all European or American or US guys who are the best, who are dominating. But I think it's actually a testament to the beauty of America and the beauty of American sports and professional leagues, because it is strictly merit-based. It is, are you the best, period. Doesn't matter where you came from. Doesn't matter what country you're from. Doesn't matter if you're not what's best for us marketing-wise to be the face of the league. It is, this guy's the best. Doesn't matter. He's the best. And that's the pinnacle of American sports. It's just whoever's the best merit-wise, you can come here and you can become the face. You can become the best.
I like that a lot. I actually think that's a great. It is almost the epitome of the story of America. The fact that you take it back to Oregon Trail times, or all these people coming to try to have a better. These guys are coming from different countries to try to have a better life in the NBA because they're not as exciting. Okay, they're not as popular. And they come here and they have the success. And you know what it is, Mike? It's the American dream. It's the American dream.
That's what I love that.
Okay.
Exactly my point.
We are pro outside players, be it European, even be it Canadian, coming and winning MVP in the National Basketball Association. Okay, so there we have it. We are pro that, right, Mike?
Yeah, I'm pro.
Okay, so there we have it.
We got two pros,
no cons, or antis.
Yep,
that's what that would be. That's what we got. Both series tied 2-1 right now, and we'll see how that plays out, and we will continue to cover it. Okay, this was big from last week, Mike. Moving on to football. So, the National Football League. Obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champions, okay, had a lot of success with a play that we have come to know as the Tush Push, okay? And if you don't know what the Tush Push is, I can't help you. We can't help you, okay? It's the Tush Push, okay? I mean, Mike, you want to try and describe it?
You want me to give you a breakdown?
Sure.
So it's like when the center snaps the ball to the quarterback, and then it's like a QB sneak. So he gets the ball and just tries to go forward right away. And then the running back pushes him from behind and gives him momentum to get a first down. Yep. And it's a short yardage play.
Sure.
And it's real messy. It's almost like a scrum in rugby, if Scott were here.
There you go. Hey, shout out. There you go, Scott. We got your rugby. Mikey, you've been influenced by Scott's rugby.
Yeah, there's my analysis.
Obsession. That was good. Okay, so if you guys can't picture it from that, we can't help you any further. So the Eagles were really, really successful with it. Other teams tried it throughout the year. We remember in the playoffs, the Buffalo Bills tried it with Josh Allen and were unsuccessful with it. And some other teams tried it. Like the Philadelphia Eagles truly, truly mastered this play. And
which is so interesting because Josh is so big that you just think he could just tip over and reach the ball,
right.
So it goes to show you that there is a lot of technique with this play. It's not just
exactly. And I think that's kind of the biggest argument for it. So anyway, the teams and the owners they had a vote on this. Okay. And they needed 24 of the 32 teams to agree to ban the Tush Push. And the interesting thing is that the league's health and safety committee and the league's competition committee both supported the ban. They both were in favor of the ban
Oh,
happening.
wow.
Yeah, both of them. But it's up to the
Interesting.
owners and the teams.
Yeah.
Okay. And they only got 22 teams to vote it. They needed 24. They only got 22. So 10 teams voted with the Eagles to keep the tush push alive. It's the Baltimore Ravens, the Patriots, the Lions, the Jaguars, the Jets, the Titans, the Dolphins, the Saints, and the Browns. And then, of course, the Eagles. So these are the teams that voted with the Eagles. It's kind of interesting because a lot of the teams were bad last year. I mean, Jaguars, Titans, Jets, Saints, Browns, Patriots.
That's a very interesting group. Like, what do they think? They think that now they're going to try this? They think it's going to turn their season around? And they go, maybe we'll try the tush push. It's working for the Eagles. Keep it in place. Give it a try.
Yeah, it is interesting to see which teams. It's also okay, hold on. Before we get into all that, what do you think, Mike? If you were voting, what do you think? Do you think it should be allowed, or that they made the right move by keeping it in the game?
I think it should be allowed. I don't really understand the reasoning why it's not, like, what the argument is for banning it, really. Like, it's a QB sneak. Is the whole thing about the QB sneak just the fact that, okay, now the running back's pushing him, or is it now that the whole O-line is like a cut block? Like, what exactly is the issue with it? Is it just that the Eagles were really good at it and it was so hard to stop that it was like a shoo-in, and so there wasn't good competition at the goal line? So it's like, like, I don't understand what the other side of the argument is. Do you?
I think it was I think people don't like how it looks because aesthetically, like rugby, it doesn't look like football. I think that's one argument. The other argument that a lot of people are making, the competition argument, that's what the competition committee was like, let's ban this. But that's it. Every team can try it, and multiple teams did try it, and it's just the Eagles were better at it. And
that's so pathetic that the competition committee said that.
Yeah.
Hey, these guys are really good at this. Let's make it so no one can do it because they're so much better. That's the antithesis of what your purpose is as a competition committee.
Right. Like, imagine if one team had like a 99% field goal kicker, and they're like, oh, we got to ban field goals because the team is way too good at it. And the other team, everyone has the equal opportunity.
That is the exact same thing. Philosophy.
You know what this is? Like, they are the teams that wanted to ban it were searching for equality of outcome as opposed to equality of opportunity. Guess what? Everyone has the same opportunity to do the tush push, to master it, to practice it, and to have success with it. Just because you can't do it doesn't mean, oh, that's unfair. So I think it's pretty pathetic. Mike, you know who like brought out this or proposed this ban?
Who?
It was Luke Musgraves and Green Bay Packers. Way to go, Luke. Coward.
Luke's pioneering it.
Luke Musgrave.
Picket sign.
It's funny because after the tush push got voted to stay, the Eagles trolled the Packers because the Packers were the one who were like pushing, we got to ban this. And they brought this to light, and they posted this and it said push on, and it's the tush push against the Packers.
Well, at least the Packers are owning the fact that they were pushing so hard on it. It's not like everyone's like, okay, there's been an anonymous tip from the league, from one team in the league, and the Packers are just standing there like this. No, they at least owned their
cowardice.
Cause. Yeah, their cowardice.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, one question with like these kinds of bans going in where they have these team votes. Do you think like the owners get together before these where they have these meetings, like, and like try to convince each other and barter, like, hey, give me a vote against the tush push here, and I'll give you something here.
Oh, like, that's good. Like, how
do you think there's anything behind the scenes there, like politics wise, that goes beyond? Like,
it's probably like the conclave of when they're voting for the new pope. It's just like a little bit of politics in there, maybe, and trying to this for that. I think there is some of that. Also, the other thing that kind of bothers me, well, here's I guess this is one thing that does go against my argument. I think it should stay. One argument for keeping it in play is that there's no data to show that it causes injuries. I do think it's a dangerous play. I just, like, just because we don't have the it's just like you see a little kid and it's like, well, he's not cracked yet. Like, it's completely safe. It's like,
the probability wise,
someone's probably going to get hurt doing the tush push because of just the nature of it. So I don't really buy that argument. It's like, oh, we have no data. I mean, there's no proof.
Yeah, it's
Like,
funny.
well, it's obvious. It's probably going to hurt somebody. So I don't buy that. But competition wise, I think that it should remain. So, okay, we're pro on the tush push, right, Mike?
Yeah, just keep it.
Okay. Sticking with football, going to Bill Belichick, and we are not talking about his social relationships. Okay. We are talking about something very positive, actually, for Bill Belichick and UNC football. So this is like similar to the Deion Sanders effect, is when Deion went to Colorado, and you see clips of Colorado football before Deion came. It was just empty, very sad, just middling, dwindling franchise or program. UNC not really to that level, but an interesting thing is they raised their season ticket prices by 25% and already sold out all of their season tickets. Okay. And this is, and that's just what this tweet says here, is the Bill Belichick effect. And I think this just kind of speaks to the power of having a big name attached with your program. It's like the same thing that Deion did with Colorado. But it also at the same time, like, he's not playing in the game. What something about it bothers me because they haven't.
That's funny.
Yeah, they haven't proven it yet. It's like, so everyone's really excited to watch Bill Belichick on the sideline of the game. What do you think about this?
That's really funny.
Right?
You know how you show up to the stadium and you wear the jersey of your favorite player?
Yeah.
What if you show up and you wear, the classic outfit of your favorite coach? You're there to watch him coach. Like, there are people in the stands, I'm sure, that go to games to watch people coach. Well, I just think it's really fascinating. They show up in the Belichick classic cutoff. I think it's so interesting. That's a great point. He's not playing in the game. You're going to listen to him cover his mouth like this. You go, oh, he's such a good coach from the stands.
Yeah.
I wonder, he's probably calling such a good play under here.
It's very interesting. But you're right. With Bill Belichick, I mean, people could come into the stadium. He does have such a distinct outfit style. That you could really dress up like Bill Belichick and be like, oh, look, he's dressing like Bill Belichick. But I do think that's pretty cool for the university. It's also just so crazy how much this kind of stuff does for the school. Like we talked about it during March Madness, is like when your top sports programs are feeling more prestigious, or like at least having the perception that they're going to be successful. Look, we've got what is it? How many Super Bowls does Bill Belichick have? 7, and he has like 8, or because when he was a DC also. So you have this all-time most winning Super Bowl coach coming here, and what that just does for the university. Because like we were just watching the Johnny Manziel Untold documentary here the other night, and he was talking all about in that documentary, how much money Texas A&M raised the next year after Johnny Manziel had that crazy freshman season, and just how much it does for the university and all of the administrators and the people around it. And it's just like, it's really the driving force in American colleges of like your reputation and what you can do, which is beautiful.
It's so fascinating. I think it's very cool. It's very cool.
Very cool.
And it's cool how and that's just so America, that like your university can rise and fall so fast, depending on that's America. You can rise and fall so fast. It's beautiful. Right. But what's funny is how many people make the decision on where to get an education based off of how good their sports team is that they're not playing on. They're going like, this has a better engineering program, but UNC's games are probably gonna be more fun to watch in person, so I'll spend my 4 years there. Yeah, like these people who are manipulated that much on their education by which football games be more fun to go to, I think it's so funny.
Well, it also just speaks to the power of a college football game. I mean,
it does.
Like during Nick Saban's tenure at Alabama, like applications to the school rose like 40% during his tenure. It's just like, I want to go to this college because I have a good football team.
What do you think is going to happen? Do you think you and Nick Saban are going to become friends?
I mean, when you break it down, literally, what the primary benefit of that thinking is, it's going to be fun to go to those football games.
That's it. Yeah.
And how many? Okay, what you got? 12 football games a year. Half of them are home, so you got 6. maybe you can't even go to all of them. So what you're talking about, maybe I can go to 3 or 4 football games a year.
Yeah.
One of the biggest decisions in your life for I'm gonna have 3 or 4 good Saturdays in the fall.
That's
So I'm
so
gonna go to
funny.
Alabama instead of Duke.
That's literally how the majority of people think, though. That's literally like, and they don't realize that that's what their decision. You boil it down, 12 more fun Saturdays
Yeah.
every 2 years.
Yeah. But it speaks to the power of football, and now we're gonna have it. The good thing here is UNC is actually a pretty good school. Chapel Hill's like one of the it's quite a good school. No offense to Alabama, but Nick Saban drawing more and more students to go to Alabama, I don't think is making the United States of America any smarter. UNC that might help us out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not Duke, but still a good school. All right, last thing on football here, Mike. Because the ELF season has just started, and we always talk about like can a football league in the United States actually survive outside of the NFL? And we've seen so many different leagues pop up and die and pop up and die, like over and over again, going all the way back to like decades and decades ago. The UFL is actually going on right now, and I don't even think like that many people realize it. And this was an NBC Sports article here that just 2,044 fans showing up to the UFL game here, less fans. And I guess I just wanted to bring this up and think, do you think that a football league could survive in the United States, like separate from the NFL, an offseason, a spring/summer league, like they've been trying to do? Or is it just literally impossible? And then we can get into the ELF, which is now going on year 5, which is way more than any of these American leagues are able to say. So what do you think about this?
I don't know. It's just you just look at the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. No league has survived. And there's always these guys who are going, you know what? I think I figured it out.
Yeah.
What if we have the cameras on a string on top of them? Actually, that was the best idea. That was the best outcome from any of the leagues. But it's these guys, which I love. And I think it's great that they pop them and everyone keeps trying. Yeah. You know, but I just don't think it's possible unless the NFL really is supporting it and really wants to use it as a farm league and use it. Your games are in the off season and like you're training guys and talent in a way that they want up and coming guys like to like backfill their rosters. That's the only way. But I just it's fun to watch.
Yeah, but I don't think the NFL doesn't need that. They have that built in. It's called college football, and it costs them no money.
Yeah, seriously.
And they get. I mean, we said it on this before, and then we like. You're not going to get a star from one of those leagues. Like you get stars from college football because people watch college football religiously and they know these players. And by the time they get into the NFL, it's like Caleb Williams. Yeah, we knew him from USC and Oklahoma, and he was awesome in college, except for the time that he cried after they lost. But that's neither here nor there. And then he gets in the NFL, and we know him, and we're really invested in his story automatically.
Yeah.
And so I just think because there's no incentive for the NFL, in my opinion, to ever even support this because they are just so successful without it. And college football is just this natural ecosystem that feeds them for free. So, but what you're saying is like, if The Rock, like
The Rock,
famous guy in the world, he throws all his weight behind what was the XFL a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And that flopped. I mean, who else could throw their weight and their star power behind a league and try and get people excited? I mean, if The Rock hadn't failed, I don't know. I mean, who else in the world, Mike, could throw their star power weight behind a league and maybe make you interested?
McConaughey?
Oh, yeah, but see, he's already doing that to Texas football, and it's working.
See, he knows he's doing it the right way. Yeah, like it's funny that these leagues, these guys who make these, it's like people who open a restaurant all the time. It's like 99% failure rate. No, I think I figured out the whole restaurant business.
Yeah, let's open another football league in the spring and not change anything.
What do you think about this theory? One of the reasons why these leagues can't survive is because football is such a story-based investment from a viewership perspective. Like watching guys go from college to NFL, you're watching their lives on this rise, and it's fun to watch, and it's like a positive thing. When you're watching, like it's not really that fun to watch guys from like UFL who are like in the dwindling twilights of their career who are like scraping to get their last shot. Like it's kind of depressing to hear about those stories. It's like it's not like a feel good story. Like I just don't think it's as marketable to hear like, okay, here's this 28-year-old who's been bouncing around and trying to pay his bills, and he finally got a practice squad shot from the UFL. Like those are the kind of stories you're going to get out of that.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're not getting stars, and people just want to see stars.
Everyone wants to see progression, not regression.
Yeah.
And if like that's why also college, these guys are young, they have so much potential. And it's like, oh, what could they do in the NFL? Whereas if we see guys who've like kind of been through it and then now they're here, you're not going to get that inspiring feel good. You might get 1 out of 100, but it's just going to be so rare. That okay.
It's like when you go to the to adopt a dog.
Okay.
And you have puppies, or you have, older dogs who came from kind of like a battered home, and you have to pick which one to bring home to your family. It's like that.
You picked a puppy.
Yeah, you picked a puppy.
Well, okay. This is interesting because, all right, it's just very clear. A lot of these, for one of those leagues to work in the United States, it has to be supported by the NFL, which I don't think they'll ever do because they're not incentivized to do. The ELF, European League of Football, is now on year 5. Now, I know it's totally different and people don't make as much money playing in that league, but it's at least more sustainable. And I think it's probably because it is a different enough product. Also, it's on a different continent. It's a different enough product. With these UFL, XFL, USFL leagues, it feels like we're just trying to be NFL light. And it's just like, what's the point? Whereas the ELF, it's different. You only have 4 Americans. You only have 2 Americans on the field. You're watching European guys. There is more potential for some of that. Maybe this guy could actually, get a college scholarship, or this guy could come make. And we're seeing more of those stories from the ELF of like, oh, this guy got an international pathway program spot.
Yeah.
And so there's more of that. I mean, I don't know. What do you think about the ELF?
I think you're exactly right. And like the stories, there's better stories that way. And it's so much better for the NFL, like to have this European league that's just spreading the game and spreading.
Yeah.
Like it's so aligned with what they're trying to do, putting NFL games over there. And I just think overall it's positive. What was like for the ELF weekend? What was that about that you guys just had?
Oh yeah, we just had week 2 in the ELF, and it was interesting. Like the Surge lost, Mike Stuttgart Surge, who was one of the best teams. They went to Paris and they lost to Paris Musketeers, and they're coached by Jack Del Rio, who coached guys like Ray Lewis and a lot of NFL legends. There was a defensive struggle, 6-0, just a defensive struggle. There's that. The new team, the Nordic Storm, they have the former MVP, Jadrian Clark, and they were like untested in the first week. They played kind of a bad team, but then they went and flew to Poland and played a pretty solid team, and they kind of blew them out of the water. So like this new team that just popped up is actually really, really legit. So it's really interesting to see. There's some drama with, I won't name, a quarterback who is making a bunch of posts on social media, like just talking a lot of shit, and it's igniting a lot of fires, and a bunch of guys from opposing teams are screenshotting it and putting it on their stories and be like, yo, why? And tagging him, be like, bro, what's wrong with you? You're so weird. Like, why are you talking?
Really?
Like, yeah. I'll tell you more off camera.
Okay. Interesting.
Very interesting. There's a lot of interesting stories. And I think football, we like stories and stories that we can get attached to. And the ELF has stories we can get attached to.
But you think ELF of any league that's popped up to be a subcategory of the NFL, the ELF has the best shot by far.
I think so. I mean, I think they've already proven it by just being sustainable for 5 years already. And if I think it's such a long shot that the NFL would ever support another league, especially after what happened with NFL Europe. But if the NFL were to support any league in the world, I think it would be that, because that league is in 9 different countries. And that's exactly what you said, Mike. It's in line with what they're trying to do with international expansion. Because then, hey, who knows? They keep doing that. Maybe the NFL someday will get an MVP that is born not in the United States, just like basketball has done.
That'd be crazy.
Probably not, but at least we'll get more guys in the league from Europe. So there we go. There we have it. Interesting stuff. That was interesting stuff today.
Yeah.
Good job, Mike. Way to go. All right. So we got NBA playoffs, conference finals still going on. We'll be talking about that. And I do want to, we'll keep talking about ELF stuff because it's fun. And an ELF season, I think it's a good alternative to fill the void of not having NFL right now. More people need to win, right?
Fill that hole in my heart.
Fill the hole that is gaping in Mikey's soul of no. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.